This video is sponsored by Bityard. With over 400 cryptocurrencies to choose from on their spot exchange, dozens of USDT pairs for futures trading, perpetual coin futures, trade commodities like gold, silver and oil, Forex, and major indices like Nasdaq. You can buy crypto from Bityard with over 50 different fiat currencies using Visa, MasterCard, Google or Apple Pay. If you like, you can use their copy trade facility, follow other traders who will execute trades on your behalf, or become a copy trader yourself. So if you want a bit of that, click the link in the description. Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at the damage, a bit of a damage assessment, okay, on Bitcoin. We're going to have a look at altcoins and I'm going to browse through just very briefly a little bit of traditional markets. So there's a lot to get through, but I'll try and whiz through it. I don't want to beat around the bush. Let's cut straight to the chase. So Bitcoin broken down below the 44,500-600 zone, which is a big deal because that's your daily Bollinger Band center, and it was also the line in the sand really for what could have been a really decent bounce in the short term. We're down on the 50 exponential moving average at the moment, finding a little bit of support. So that could be enough to bring us at least maybe back up to 44,600 today. That could happen. If we go to the weekly, we're also at a decent level of support, being the 10 exponential and the 50 exponential on the weekly. 50 exponential actually, for this bull market hasn't been as great as the previous ones. We've spent a little bit of time below it each time we came down to revisit it, but on previous bull markets that's always been the bouncy area. The 50 exponential has basically held it and bounced massively from it, so there is that in our favor. Again, this is the first time we've reclaimed it, and this year, so it's still a big deal that we're still above it. So let's hold on to that for bulls, and before we start talking about I suppose bullish things, let's just go back to the bears perspective. Below the 20 simple moving average on the weekly, although it's not yet closed, not particularly good place to look. So all of this area, although it does offer a bit of hopium for a decent bounce and maybe continuation effectively a low, not particularly convinced, because if we go back to the daily, we're below the center of the Bollinger Band, plus we really want it to stay above this 200. That's going to be where bulls start to have a building a base from, and we tried that and it didn't work out. Much of that would have been to do with what we were talking about this entire time. Quite high money flow index, historically one of the highest over the last 4 years, suggesting that's not a great place to actually be thinking of going long or even buying at, really. A pullback is required. All altcoins, most of them that would be anyway, had the same kind of read, which is why they're getting extra wrecked right now. This is what we were talking about on the Patreon stream, about basically just leaving them alone. It's always nice to have a look at whether we think they can come down to, but the significance of the downside will be so high that it's better to wait for Bitcoin to choose what it wants to do before going in on any other altcoins. We bought some of these altcoins at their lows. We were quite happy with that, but you don't want to be buying them at their highs. I'm not under any illusion that those lows that we bought them from could be revisited plus lower. So all of that is very likely. I wouldn't rule it out. But for the moment, I am looking for a bounce, and the bounce would probably bring us up to the major breakdown zone, so about 44,600, 700, 800. Reclaiming that would be great, but I just don't see any kind of strength building so far. Bring it to the 1 hourly. Yeah, still continuing with its general weakness. There's no bullish divergence or anything forming on this. It's just an anemic bounce at the moment. So we'll see if we can pick up pace throughout the rest of the day. A lot of this is going to be to do with traditional markets when they open, because yesterday, if anyone paid attention, there was a serious breakdown on a lot of things. This is crude oil. Not that it's very overall correlated with Bitcoin, but it's been on a tear up, and the idea being is that if this starts to break down, which it kind of is toying with the idea that it will break down, it could cause I suppose further meltdown for all markets. Historically, it's usually marked tops of overall market behavior, and this could obviously be a top. We'll see where this one goes. Again, there's fundamental reasons for this to continue to go up, but on a technical basis, it's now changed to what could be further downside, bringing it back down to reasonable levels, maybe mid 80s or thereabouts. So that's crude oil, not Brent, so just there is a difference, but crude oil. yeah, down to that level. So that's your oil. Let's have a look at the DAX, having a bit of a problem as well. This is DAX on the weekly, getting a rejection so far. Again, it's only down a little bit, but it's not looking particularly good for major indices, especially European indices. I want to say European, not to say I'm not, you know, I do class myself as European, but for some reason the FTSE has been immune to this so far, and the UK stocks seem to be doing okay, but you know, on the macro scale, not that great. You know, just toying with the idea of making new highs. Really, we've not ever really got back above pre-pandemic levels. So, but it is looking okay. And actually, I'd make the case that this is actually a bullish chart, and UK stocks actually look quite good as far as all the major indices are concerned. This one's got the better setup, I would say, and so that looks quite good. So this is a bit of an outlier. Just thought I'd bring it to your attention. The Nasdaq obviously coming down again, you know, breaking down further. It's not looking particularly strong. Yesterday, all I'm hinting towards here is that traditional markets actually had a bit of a sad day yesterday, and that has impacted, I would expect, Bitcoin's behavior. So even though Bitcoin was at a major support, the fear in the traditional markets had kicked in to an extent, to the point where risk-off assets are effectively, you know, let's stay away from them, and Bitcoin being one of them. I'm still pretty bullish on the for the rest of the year though, but I'm not going to kid myself into thinking that these areas are going to hold. Although that they could, they may not. We don't have any divergences of any time frame, and we're below the centre of the Bollinger Band of every significant time frame. So although a bounce could take us to 44,000, I'm not convinced that we could break it at this stage. Now, one other thing I was going to show you actually would be the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin. And interestingly enough, if we ever think about what we see here, this is your 4 hourly. We found a perfect bounce so far, or a perfect tag on the 200 exponential movies. You compare that with Bitcoin's 4 hourly, and actually Bitcoin's broken down below it, right? So, and getting rejection from it at the moment. So 1, 2, 3 rejections in a row on these 4 hourly candles. So with that, could offer potentially, maybe, and again, this is a push, that if a bounce does kick in, the bounce will be more significant with altcoins. It could be one of those, effectively, calling it a dead cat bounce is probably a bit too cruel, but you know, for some of these altcoins that we've been looking at, we could be seeing a serious bounce for some of those. Again, bounce is not reversal, it's not continuation, but there is an argument to say that could be the case. But it would obviously require Bitcoin to at least stay still, or to go up a little bit to revisit those zones, and we could be seeing, you know, some of these altcoins up by 25, 30 or more percent, you know, and that again, it'd just be like a dead cat bounce until we reclaim those zones on the daily and the weekly. Effectively for Bitcoin, I really want to see us being above 46,000. Being below 46, I'm not particularly happy about it, and in the short term, I would entertain potentially the idea of coming back down to between 41 and 42, which is not far from where we are right now, but 41, 42, that could be where we have a more significant bounce for Bitcoin, give us a chance to develop some kind of bullish divergence, and at least the 4 hourly. We don't have it on any time frame at the moment, so I'm not really looking for anything powerful. We could have a trickle back up, and again, you know, from here to there, it's not very far. It's a 2 or less than 3% move, but that could be enough to then cause some of these other altcoins that we see to move from, you know, 20 to 30%. So that in a nutshell is the overall market. You know, traditional markets will be open later, the American ones that is. The European ones are open already, not particularly happy. Oil looks like it wants to come down, so there is a lot of downwards pressure, so be prepared for further downside, but overall the main thing to hold on to is that the major area of consolidation is over. This could just be very much a giant accumulation zone, and we've seen bigger accumulations than this in the past for Bitcoin. This is a small one from this range to this range. If we were to measure the potential all the way down to that low to this high, it's a 47%. That's not a problem. We accumulated in this area before, which is about a 70% range, and it worked out just fine. So accumulations can be, you know, between anywhere really. For some altcoins they can be over 100% range. For Bitcoin, generally I'd expect about a 40% range of accumulation, and it looks like that's what we're in. So I'm still in, you know, expecting this to meander around before it makes a decision, a major decision, and inevitably it will go up. But in the very, very short term, I'm not convinced of either direction. Again, And the bears have control over the major time frames once again. Wait for the weekly closure. If we can remain above that Bollinger Band center and the 50 exponential, then yeah, there's very realistic possibility that Bitcoin can get out of this sooner rather than later. But traditional markets are playing a big role, I would say, big role. There was a hint of fear in the market yesterday. See if that continues throughout the today and tomorrow, and see, and we'll monitor the reaction to Bitcoin. I'm not against Bitcoin, making new all-time highs this year. I'm very much in favor of that. But if we're trying to dissect, every single day, which is effectively what we try and do on this channel, is there a trade to be made right now? Nah, no trade to be made right now. The trades that we've made have already been done. Effectively, for Bitcoin, it was only 3 trades this, only 2 trades this year. Sold a load, at this level here before the massive dump that was generated from the virus coming out, a new virus. Oh God, everyone's scared of the virus. So took profit here, bought back 40,635,000. That's it. That is your spot trading for you. That's all done. That's it. I've not done any more than that. I bought a load of shit coins a couple of weeks ago. They done all right for the most part. Some of them have done pretty well, but that's it. There's, to sit down and trade every single day just because you can, and that's how you make your money. That's probably how you go about losing your money. Some of the best money is made through small, patient, and sparse trading, really. And that's it. That's my and as far as my Bitcoin trades are concerned so far, it's good. It's good. Profit took here, bought back here, wherever that 40,600 is, and finally bought back just above there to front run that wick. That's it. Done and dusted. All profit. But the rest, as far as what we're going to do today is, I'm just going to sit back and wait and put some movies on, clean the house, eat a sandwich, relax, watch Bitcoin in the corner of my eye, not get particularly excited or upset of whichever direction it goes. It is what it is. Just enjoy it for what it's worth. It's almost certainly going to work out in the end, but for the moment, right this very second in time, well, I'm pretty much direction neutral. Right, I'll leave it with you there, guys. Hope you have a nice day and take it easy.
Pas en pite.